Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Wow, we got a lot to get into as the Acolyte finale is in just 7 hours. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of predictions to get into, so let's dive into all of it. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Today's the day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day. The Acolyte finale is just in a few short 7-ish hours. And we got to talk about it. We got to predict it. We got to talk about all this. We got a lot to get into, so let's dive into all of it. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat first. For some very strange reason, my PC is acting very strange, and it did not want to turn on, and then it did reluctantly turn on, but for some reason the time is about 20 minutes behind. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it's 2 o'clock. Hopefully I'm not early. Hopefully I'm not late, but let's find out together, I guess. B-Man, what's up? Tom, how we doing? Joseph, what is up? Kay, how we doing? Skywalker Academy in the house. Star Wars Santa in the house. What's up? Ben, how we doing? Mitchell, what is up? Brandon Baker, what is up? Conkalonk, great name. What is up? Nico, how we doing? Nathan, how we doing? Chris, what is up? B-Man, I think I already said you, but I'm saying it again. Fearless, what's up? Starchip 66, Mando United. Did I get everybody? If I missed you, just yell at me in the chat. You know the deal. Tony, what's up? Darth Revan in the house. William, what's up? Okay, we got a lot of predictions to get into today, as this is it. This is it. This is the final prediction stream for the Acolyte show. Period. End of sentence. The finale is tonight. Will Master's soul die? Will we finally find out who Qimir really is? Who his master is? And does he have a Sith master? Possibly Darth Tenebrous, possibly Darth Plagueis. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about all of it. How does this show end? Does it set up a second season? All of that. We're going to talk about it. And turns out there is a crazy, huge fight sequence, or at least choreographed sequence, in this upcoming finale that nobody is expecting. So we'll dive into all that. But first of all, Star Wars Santa. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars Santa. I appreciate that quite a bit at the night level. Becoming a member is probably one of the best ways, or it is the best way to support the channel. So by doing that, you obviously get put into a giveaway, instant access to this giveaway at the end of every month, and the end of this month is coming pretty quickly. So think about becoming a member. It's the best way to support the channel and all that fun stuff. Okay, now let's get into it, okay? Throw your craziest predictions, or just predictions in general, for what you think is going down in episode 8 of this Acolyte show. And while you do, let's talk about this. So this is coming from Star Wars themselves, and this is coming from the choreographer of this Acolyte show. It's the same guy who did Rogue One. You remember the great, insane hallway scene, easy for me to say, hallway scene with Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One? Yeah, that guy has been doing all of these choreographed fight sequences in the Acolyte show. That's why these fight sequences have been so freaking good. Connor, what's up? So let's talk about this. Is Season 2 confirmed? No. Season 2 for this Acolyte show is not confirmed. We'll talk about it after the finale kind of happens, whether or not we want a second season, or whether or not the consensus is, yes, let's go for a second season. We'll talk about that after the finale. But right now, no. There is no second season confirmed, at least for now. Yeah. Okay. Let's read this. Let's read this, okay? This, let's just read it. The Acolyte action director Christopher Clark Cowan, sure, Christopher, who previously worked on Rogue One, talked to StarWars.com about bringing Kelnaka's fight style to life, because in episode 7 we of course saw the Wookiee Jedi in action. So here's what he had to say. Christopher said, "We really wanted him to be a bit more wild and more animalistic in his approach," which we clearly got, "because the witches are inside of his mind and bringing out the primal instincts. His form isn't going to be immaculate. It's not going to be perfect and perfectly precise. It's going to be swinging wildly to take out whatever is in front of him, no matter what the cost." So obviously, probably the highlight of Episode 7 was that fight between Kelnaka, Master Soul, and Torben. It was, I mean, we wanted a live-action Wookiee Jedi, that is, in action, and we got that, and it was definitely did not disappoint. But here, he goes on to say something very interesting about this upcoming finale, and he says this: as much fun as it was creating Wookiee Jedi versus Jedi action, we are so hyped to show you what is coming in Episode 8. I can't really say any more than that. So he was excited, kind of excited, although it was exciting to show you a Wookiee Jedi versus Jedi action. We are so hyped to show you what's coming in Episode 8. This gives me a lot of hope for some crazy action sequence, maybe cool lightsaber duel between final showdown type deal in this finale. But if he's hyped for it, I'm hyped for it. This is the same guy that gave us the incredible lightsaber sequences in Episode 5. The battle of the forest moon of... hang on. The battle in the forest of Kofar, is what I tried to say there, was some of the greatest lightsaber duels we've seen in a decade, over a decade, since Revenge of the Sith, really. And now, the same guy who did that is so extremely hyped to show us what he did in the finale. You don't think he's going to one-up himself in the finale? We've been talking about who will die, what questions will finally be answered in this finale, but nobody's really talking about a big showdown. Because who's it going to be? Soul seems to be on his own. He seems to be off with May, telling her the story of what happened, but May's chained to a chair. Then you have Qimir and Osha's slowly falling to the dark side, and Kymir's clearly badass as balls. Are balls badass? He's clearly badass. But who's he going to be fighting? Just Master Soul? Or is Vestra and the other Jedi going to come into play here? What is this massive showdown? How does this show end? Let's be honest, tonight's episode's probably only going to be about 45 minutes. I would be extremely surprised if it's over 50 at all, as none of the episodes of this series so far have been. So I would put your expectations at about a 40 to 45 minute episode. I wouldn't get your expectations too high. But with that being said, 40 minutes to answer all of our questions that we have, first of all, but also to give us this closure for this season? Because Leslie Headland, the showrunner of The Acolyte, has said many times that this show is going to have a definitive ending. What does that mean? How is there going to be a definitive ending to this story that has so many questions that need to be answered in just 40 minutes? So this sounds very promising. The stunt choreographer, the whatever you want to call him, the guy who worked on Rogue One, who's been doing the choreography for this Acolyte show, says he is so hyped for us to see this finale and what he has in store for us in this finale, which means one thing and one thing only. We are going to be getting a amazing, absolutely amazing lightsaber sequence in this finale, and I can't freaking wait. Can't wait. Okay, let's put up a poll in this chat right now. I'm going to end the poll that says smash a like on this video, because if you haven't yet, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Smash a freaking like on the stream. God damn it! Okay, where was I? All right, let's start up a new poll. Do you think Master Soul will die tonight? So this is it. This is the finale. Is Master Soul going to survive or not? Now, this is probably one of the biggest questions remaining, because he does know, technically, that the Sith have returned. Now I put Sith in quotations there because Qimir in the forest says to Soul, the Jedi would view me as a Sith, or would call me a Sith. Pretty much telling Soul, look, buddy, me, red lightsaber, all black, I'm a Sith. And that's pretty big, because we know, of course, in the Phantom Menace, Ki-Adi-Mundi says the Sith haven't been around for a millennia. And we know that a millennia is 1,000 years, and this show takes place only 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So the Sith returning is a big deal. And even Qimir himself in Episode 5 told Soul that everybody in this forest has to die. So far, he's doing a pretty good job about it, but 3 remain: Osha, May, and Soul. Will all three die? Will just Soul die and May and Osha turn to the dark side? There's a lot that could go down in this finale. But my question to you is, will Master Soul die tonight? Because if he doesn't, there's a lot more questions than answers when it comes to that. Is he going to go back to the Jedi Temple and inform the Jedi of what happened? Is he going to tell them that the Sith have returned and changed the canon of Star Wars forever? Because that would anger quite a lot of fans.
This is where the fun begins.
All right, let's see where you guys are at in the chat. Let's see it. Okay. Joseph says, Leslie Headland just reported this. The Acolyte Season 2 is going to explore Darth Plagueis training Palpatine. She did not say that specifically. She was asked whether or not she would like to tell the story of Plagueis and young Palpatine, and she said she would love to if she's given the chance. It's a little bit different. Yeah. When is the giveaway? I want free shit. The giveaway will be the last stream of the month. So what's today's date? Like the 15th or something? We're halfway through the month. So in a couple weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Connor, what's up? Thomas says, I think at least one of the Sith Masters is going to turn up. Okay, let's talk about that. Do you think, we'll go like this. Do you think Darth Tenebrous or Darth Plagueis will show up in this finale? Not just one, not both, but either or. Darth Plagueis or Darth Tenebrous. Give me a 1 if you say yes. A Sith Lord of some sort, Darth Plagueis or Darth Tenebrous, will be showing up tonight. And give me a 2 if you're like, no way. They're not going to touch Darth Tenebrous or Darth Plagueis with a 10-foot pole. 1 is yes, 2 is no. Do you think we're seeing some Sith tonight? Because again, that complicates things. That complicates things big time as I see the ones flooding in right now. Do you guys understand what that means? This Sith, whether it's Tenebrous or Plagueis, cannot be showing his face to Soul or Vestra or any of the Jedi. And the only way that he could show up is to kill everybody. And probably including his apprentice, Qimir. Yeah. Which would be absolutely insane. Sifo Dyas and the Kaminoans? What are you talking about? I want more live-action Sith. Me too. And my big hope is that they get it right. So Darth Tenebrous is a Bith. He's a Bith Sith, you know? And a Bith, if you guys are unfamiliar, think of the Cantina Band in A New Hope. Let's look him up. Darth Tenebrous. Those are the Bith. So he looks like this. This is Darth Tenebrous right here. Let's zoom in on his handsome face. So this is Darth Tenebrous. He's a Bith Sith. Pulling this off in live action is going to be extremely difficult. Like, extremely difficult. We've seen Bith in live action before. Like I just said, the Cantina. It's the very first Star Wars 40 some odd years ago. But to pull him off as a Sith, to make him scary, to make him actually look menacing, and not just stupid, would be extremely difficult. And that's what actually makes me think that they might go down the route of Plagueis, because it could be easier. But not easy by any definition of the word, because Plagueis doesn't look that normal either. He's a mun, and he's got a big-ass head, and he's huge too. So if we look at Darth Plagueis here, it's hard to find a good picture of Plagueis, honestly, online. But let's just look at the... Darth Plagueis. Here, we'll go with this one. Why is it in the top corner like that? That's weird. Don't do that. That's weird. Okay, this is Darth Plagueis. He's got a long-ass head, and he's huge. He's a mun. He's massive. So pulling this off in live action is going to be extremely difficult, too. So they have two very difficult tasks on their hands, whether it's creating a Bith Sith in live action or creating a mun in live action that's a Sith too. And I wonder if they're going to do it. And if they do, it has to be done correctly. That's the biggest thing. This finale, if one of these two characters does show up, depends solely on their appearance. Because it could go one of two ways. the next 7 days is everybody getting hyped up. Oh my God, we just saw Darth Plagueis or Darth Tenebrous for the first time in live action. Oh my God. Or, did you see how stupid they looked? Oh my God, did they mess up Darth Tenebrous? Oh my God, did they mess up Darth Plagueis? And one is clearly better than the other, as you can tell. So, if they do go the route of bringing in one of these two Sith Lords, I really hope they do it correctly, and I really desperately hope that it looks good. Oh, I really hope it looks good. But let's go back to Master Soul, whether he's dead or not. Tony, what's up? Okay, let's talk about that. Is Master Soul dead or not? By the way, holy crap, almost 90% of you right now in the chat. 90%, with over 100 votes. 90% of you. 90! Say yes. Master Soul will be dying tonight. First of all, bummer. Li Zhang-Cha has done an incredible job, and if there is going to be a second season, no Master Soul. Let me bring up a different character. Vestra Rowe. So Vestra has been like just kind of off to the side. She's been on Coruscant for the most part in this season, but now she's left Coruscant, that is, and she's gone to Kofar, where she sees the remains of what happened there, and now she's kind of just chasing Soul around the galaxy. Do you think Venestra's going to die in this finale? Venestra's already over 100 years old, and she could probably live for another 100 years and most likely make an appearance in The Phantom Menace. But guess what? The Phantom Menace came out 25 years ago, and you know who wasn't in it? Vestra Rowe. So do you think Vestra dies tonight? If Soul dies, it pretty much means the bad guys win. If Vestra dies, it really means the bad guys won. And don't you think the Jedi are going to get a little bit suspicious when over 10 Jedi died? Like, Jedi just start disappearing. Indara's dead. Kelnaka's dead. Yord is dead. Jeki is dead. Those 5 random Jedi are dead. And now you're going to tell me that Soul's going to die too, and Venestra's going to die as well? The Jedi aren't going to get a little suspicious about this? This brings me to the video I made on Sunday, I believe, a few days ago. Give me a 1 into the chat if you saw that. But in that video, I talk about one of the most important scenes, or what could be one of the most important scenes of this Acolyte show, and it was in episode 6, when Vestra is talking to one of the senators, and he's telling her that there's going to be an investigation into the Jedi Order, and Vestra seems pretty damn scared, to say the least, because she's doing sketchy stuff. She's going on secret missions without telling the High Council. She's covering up the fact that a former Jedi is now killing Jedi from the High Council and from the Senate. So an investigation into the Jedi is going to be a big, big problem for Vestra Rowe. And it's just a big problem for the Jedi in general, as 10-ish, 8, 9, 10, 10-ish Jedi are already dead. And more probably going to die tonight. It's hard to cover that up. It's very hard to cover that up. With that being said, I don't think Vestra is going to die tonight. However, like I said in that video, I do think that she's going to cover all of this up. If Soul does die, she'll cover that up, and she'll cover everything up for one reason and one reason only. It's her former Padawan, her former Padawan who is doing all of this. Let's talk about Qimir, shall we? Qimir is probably one of the coolest new Star Wars characters we've seen in the last decade. He's up there with Grogu, he's up there with Din Djarin, he's up there with Kanan Jarrus, Ezra Bridger. He's the top of the list when it comes to new Star Wars characters. And we don't even know his name. We've been calling him Qimir this whole time because that was his alias that he went by. But really his name is The Stranger. I think it will be revealed tonight in the finale what Qimir's real name is. It will be revealed that Vestra was his former master when he was a Jedi with the Jedi Order, who knows how long ago. And it will be revealed that Vestra has to cover all of this up because it was her failure. She was the one who lost her Padawan to the dark side. And she doesn't want that to come up in the Senate or with the High Council either way, because then she'll not be a Jedi anymore. She'll probably be taken from the Jedi Order, I'm sure. So I think this might all be a cover-up by Vestra Row in this finale, after Sol dies, after maybe even Qimir dies, that the Sith aren't back. And Vestra just keeps it a secret because the Senate is now investigating the Jedi. What do we think about that? UV Clips, what's up?
Hello there.
Could Vestra really just be covering this all up? Is this all just a massive cover-up, and that's why the Jedi never find out about the Sith? Because the Senate is trying to investigate the Jedi, and Vestra has to keep it all a secret? What do we think about that? What do we think? Galaxy Love says, I think Sol will die, and it is possible for one of the twins to die as well. I don't know if one will die. I feel like if the twins are going to die, they probably both would, but I actually don't think either of them are. I think it's more likely that they both survive. The twins are pretty interesting. May started out as an acolyte of the Sith at the beginning of this season. Now she's sort of coming to the light a little bit. Not really, but a little bit. She's definitely not as dark side as she once was. And Osha's gone the complete opposite direction. The beginning of the show, she starts out very light side. At one point, she was once a Jedi, but that was years before the show began. And now she's going down a very dark path, as the Jedi have lied to her entire life. Will the twins sort of come together in this finale? And who are they coming together against? Sol or Qimir or one or the other or both? I really don't know. There's no clear line of where these twins are at. But they haven't really been together yet. It's clear that the two of them are very, very powerful when they're together. That's been made extremely clear. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. We get that. Episode 3, Episode 5, the end of it, and Episode 7 really explored the idea that these two are extremely powerful together, and they're supposed to be together. They were created by a Virgins in the Force, and they're the split of a singular consciousness, as Master Sol explains in Episode 7, or at least he theorizes in Episode 7. So the two of them are going to be extremely powerful together, and we haven't seen them really together all that much, at least definitely not using the Force together. So how that plays out is going to be extremely interesting. And Leslie Headland also confirmed that we will be getting an explanation as to how the twins were created in this finale. That will be directly explained. She said that herself. So hopefully we get that explanation as well. Yeah, for sure. Cow Edits, what's up? Nico says, Leslie Headland said that Mother Coral will not appear in the finale in an interview. I did not see that interview, or at least I didn't see that clip, but that makes sense. Although I do think Mother Coral did survive the events of last week and the events of Brendok 16 years ago, I don't think that she's going to be the master of Qimir. I just don't think that's going to... no, I don't think so. Mother Coral could show up in maybe season 2 if there is going to be a second season. Yeah. Howard, what's up, says, I think the twins will return to being one entity and become the Acolyte of the Knights of Ren. Interesting. That's a good point. Let's talk about the Knights of Ren for a second. Kylo Ren's theme has been heard 3 times now. 3 separate times in this Acolyte show. Twice in Episode 5, and some fans think they heard it in Episode 7. I heard it, but it's only like half of it. It's kind of weird. But we have heard Kylo Ren's theme multiple times. And Leslie Headland, again, was asked about this, and she said, yes, that is Kylo Ren's theme, and it does have a purpose. This was back when Episode 5 aired. We don't really have that purpose yet. We don't know how that explains anything. So you tell me in the chat, how do you think Kylo Ren ties into all this? Is it because the Knights of Ren? Is it because Kylo Ren is a fallen Jedi? You tell me. But I agree with you that it's likely that the twins will merge into one being by the end of this show, some sort of merger, and they become one, which would be pretty interesting to see how they go about that, how they explain that, and how visually that looks. But it also means that they, would probably be becoming the Acolyte. And Qimir could die, and maybe Darth Tenebrous or Plagueis comes in, and now they become the new Acolyte, which would be pretty weird. It would also... I mean, the title of the show is The Acolyte, ladies and gentlemen. And for the most part, there hasn't really been an Acolyte in this show. May was the Acolyte at the beginning, and then she's not after episode 4 and episode 5. Episode 3, actually. Or episode 4 and episode 5. So she's not the Acolyte anymore. And now we don't have an Acolyte. You could argue that Osha is now the Acolyte, but again, the title of the show is The Acolyte. I think the show will end with there being a definitive Acolyte, and that could be a merger between May and Osha. Maybe. Lowdown, what's up? Christopher, how we doing? I do not want a second season. I want 5 more seasons. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, let's just start with ending the first one for now. My prediction, Osha kills Master Soul. That would really be a kind of full circle moment for Osha. She was once the apprentice to Master Soul. She was brought into the Jedi Order and lied to for 16 years. If she falls completely to the dark side and kills her former master, Master Soul that is, this is going to be a very dark ending to this show. Like, very dark. And it'll be extremely interesting. Yeah. Indeed. Connor says, I'm seeing long legs. Wait, what? I'm seeing long legs right after work tonight before the finale. I'm pumped. What the hell is long legs? I gotta look this up. What the hell is long legs? Long legs? What is it? Oh my God, is it a horror movie? It's a horror movie, okay. Oh, it just came out? I've never even heard of this. It released 3 days ago into the theaters. What the hell? Interesting. Okay. Have fun with that. Is it about spiders? Harrison says, Osha's going to kill May. Okay. Wait, what? Osha's going to kill May? All May has wanted ever since she was a kid to be with her sister, with Osha wanting to be her own person. Osha is about to kill Soul, and May jumps in front of him. Interesting. I actually don't think that the twins will kill each other. I think that's just too far, almost. Yeah. Yeah. I want more Qimir. Me too. And I think you're going to get more Qimir. We talked about this. We kind of dissected the behind-the-scenes footage of Manny Jacinto, who plays Qimir. We saw the behind-the-scenes stuff of him training. And there's a lot of that training sequence that we haven't seen yet. So there is more Qimir fight sequences on the way. We also have this behind-the-scenes shot of Master Soul, who's on sort of a overgrown current-day Brendock. As you can see, his hair is current day. If I can, here it is. So this is Master Soul with his lightsaber ignited back on Brendock. As you can see, Brendock behind him, and it's overgrown now. It's clearly present day as he has the longer hair. So there's going to be a lightsaber sequence, and we are going back to Qimir. I'm sorry, to Qimir. Going back to Brendock. And that's pretty interesting. How we're going to get back to Brendock, I don't know. But there is still one scene from the Acolyte trailer that we have not seen yet. And with one episode left, that's pretty rare to have any scenes, really, that we haven't seen yet. So let's go take a look at that. Let's go take a look at that. Let's do this. By the way, thank you guys for all the very, very nice messages of getting well. I was very sick last week, as you guys clearly saw during my live streams. I'm feeling a lot better now, so I appreciate that. And my sunburn, it's still kind of there, but it is going away. My skin is completely peeling off. Okay, let's go take a look at this. Let's go rewatch the first trailer for this Acolyte show and see if there's any scenes that we haven't seen yet. Scenes. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Last night.
And while we watch this, let's just reminisce about how good this first season has been so far as we get hyped up for this finale.
A Jedi was murdered. The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace. But that peace is a lie.
Still weird, because he doesn't say that. Somebody weird is saying that in this trailer. It sounds like a girl.
In the name of peace. But that peace...
like, it doesn't sound like Qimir at all.
is a lie.
Let's take a second. This show opened with this fight sequence. This amazing fight sequence between Indara and May in the cantina, or the noodle shop, I should say. Doesn't get enough credit. It doesn't get enough credit at all.
Jedi are being hunted.
Yord's neck was snapped, let's not forget.
She was my student. I trained her. Let me be the one to bring her in.
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan. Some sort of shift to tip the scales.
This is the only scene that we haven't seen. From all the trailers, this is it. This looks like Sol's ship.
It's time.
Chasing another ship over there, possibly Qimir's ship. And they're going through some sort of glass or ice belt around some sort of planet or asteroid field or whatever it may be. But we haven't seen this yet. So this confirms 100% that we know for a fact that this sequence happens tonight. This is the only thing we know for a fact that this happens tonight. So that means Qimir and Osha are leaving their mysteriously unknown planet, and Sol is going to start chasing them. We don't know where, we don't know why, we don't know how, but we do know that this happens. And it's most likely that they are going to be going to Brendok, as I showed you before. You got Master Sol here on Brendok. But this is crazy. This has never happened as far as I can remember with a Star Wars show. A scene from the original trailer, the original official trailer for the show, still being around, still not having been seen by the audience with the finale tonight. That's wild. Now, there's not much to this scene. It's just them flying through space. But it is a fight scene, or at least a space battle scene in this show, which seems to be the only thing that this show is missing. But, yeah. True.
Face the past.
Let's talk about this for a second. They warned us with the frickin' first trailer. No one is safe. We were surprised to see Jecki get stabbed in the chest 3 times and Yor get his neck snapped, because it was surprising. But they told us, straight to our faces, no one is safe. We just didn't listen. We just didn't listen. And now coming into the finale, we don't know. We don't. We don't know if anybody's safe. We don't know Sol, Vestra, Qimir even. Even the twins, honestly, aren't that safe. Even Basil is not safe.
Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force.
Here's that same ice sequence. This ship is now like falling through it. It's clearly out of, like, it's been shot or something. It's spinning out of control. But there is a planet under there. Could be Brendok. It looks kind of like the layout of Brendok, I guess, with land and some I don't know. It just looks like a planet. It looks like Earth, honestly, let's be real. But it could be Brendok, that's what I'm saying. I hope Darth Vader shows up. Me too. No.
If you want to pull the thread and change everything, then pull it.
What are you?
I just remember how hyped that was. When that dropped, do you remember how hyped that was? And now we know it was Qimir. One of the coolest new Star Wars characters to ever exist. Okay. So yeah, again, this is the only new scene, or only remaining scene from this trailer, or from any trailer for that matter, with one episode left. So we know for a fact that this fight sequence in space is going to be happening at some point in this finale. I don't know. I don't know when. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it is coming. There you go. And that's it. All the trailers, every other scene has been seen. Episode 7 gave us all the fight sequences on Brendok with Kalnaka, Torben Sol. Gave us all the other extra stuff from Brendok with the witches and everything that we haven't seen yet. And now we've seen it all. We've seen it all. Rebel Sith says, did you listen to Star Wars Explains Roundtable with Leslie Headland yesterday? She said one of the big Easter egg legends maybe, additions she wanted to show most is still coming in episode 8. Tenebrous, I hope. I did not watch that, I guess, yet. I might watch it after the stream now because it sounds awesome. But that's pretty wild. She said that the biggest Easter egg from Legends, you're saying? That she wanted to show most still is coming in episode 8. So it's probably going to be the reveal of some sort of Sith Lord. Probably Tenebrous or probably Plagueis. Let's actually start up a new poll because this poll's been up for a while now and it's kind of not really budging. It's gone down to 81%ish of you. So let's do this. Let's start up a new poll. Why don't we? Oh yeah, 80. The math is not mathing, but 80-20. 80% of you say yes, Sol will die tonight, and 20% of you say no, he will not. Let's do this. If this poll is going to be if a Sith shows up, which Sith do you think will show up tonight? And that is if a Sith does show up, obviously. So let's go Darth Tenebrous. Darth Tenebrous or Darth Plagueis. Honestly, I could see going either way. You could go the route of going Darth, is that Tenebrous? Plagueis. Plagueis is E-I-S, right? Not I-E-S. E-I-S, I believe it is. I'm going to stick with my gut. Okay. We'll put that poll up there. So it could go either way. Tenebrous could be the master, and Qimir could be the apprentice. He kills Qimir and then finds Plagueis as his next apprentice. That could be a possibility. The other possibility is that it could be Plagueis, and Plagueis could kill Qimir and then go without an apprentice or get another apprentice before Palpatine. So really it could go either way. We are still 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so Palpatine doesn't really come around for at least another 40, 50 years-ish. So Plagueis would have to go through a few apprentices. Maybe Qimir doesn't even die tonight. Maybe his master just comes to deal with things. It's a possibility. Qimir could survive this finale for sure. But we'll have to wait and see. Liam Neeson. Yeah, Liam Neeson's in the chat. Shout out to Liam. Liam, how does it feel to be stabbed in the stomach by a lightsaber? That's what I want to know. Okay, where was I? Best Lex Luthor. What's up, Best Lex Luthor? So, oh, wow. Wait a second. With almost 80 votes already. Guys, vote on this poll. We are 50-50 right down the middle. That means 40-40 currently. Oh, 51. Say Tenebrous. 51. Wow, this is... Holy shit, that's way closer than I thought. Okay, where was I? The Best Lex Luthor says, my friends love Star Wars movies and read the Heir to the Empire books, but no other books. They have no idea who any of these Darths are. Oh, like Darth Tenebrous and Darth Plagueis? We should tell them to read the Darth Plagueis book because it's quite good. Yeah. Jamie says neither, and that should have been an option. I apologize. Obviously, no Sith could appear. No Sith Master could appear. For sure. Absolutely. Harrison says, Vestra survives and is responsible for the cover-up. Also think that she might be the origins of the Chosen One prophecy. She has a vision when in hyperspace, but misinterprets it. Like Yoda says, misread it may be. Interesting. So you think Vestra is going to be the one who kind of comes up with the Chosen One prophecy? I don't know. I don't know why she would do that. We shall see, I guess. What if Soul is Plagueis? Okay, Tenebrous, Tony, let's talk about that for a second. I'll make it easy, okay? This is Plagueis. Oh, well, he's up in the corner, I guess. This is Plagueis. Let's zoom in on him. There you go. You can't run Plagueis. This is Plagueis, and this is Master Soul. Now, obviously they don't look the same. The resemblance is not really there. But I have heard this argument a million times. A million. Darth Plagueis being a Mun is only in Legends. And let's talk about it. Okay? This, I believe, is true. Okay? Okay. I see a small resemblance. Oh my God. Okay. This is true. He is not defined as a Mun in Star Wars canon. The only real references to Plagueis come in books, and of course, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? So, technically, they could change Darth Plagueis' species from a Mun to a human or anything else. But that would be a disaster. An absolute disaster. And I don't think they will do that at all. I don't think they will. And here's why. Leslie Headland is a huge Star Wars fan. More importantly, she's a huge Legends Star Wars fan. She's from the same generation of Dave Filoni, who grew up in the 90s when there were no Star Wars movies. For 16 years, there was no Star Wars movies from 1983 to 1999. So they grew up in that era, where the only new Star Wars content they got was Legends, and they loved that shit. Who doesn't love that shit? There's some really good stuff in there. She loves Legends, and she's bringing Legends aspects, like Dave Filoni is as well, into canon. And if she loves the characters of Darth Tenebrous, Darth Plagueis, she's probably going to do them the same way, not changing their appearance or their species in any sort of way, because that would anger a lot of fans, and I would assume that it would anger themselves as well, because they like those characters. They like the stories that are already established in Legends, and although those stories will be changed, I hope they keep at least the species the same. I really, really hope so. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Fearless says, the other Sith is probably Darth Basil. Okay, well, there you go. That should have been the third option, and that might be the correct option, too. Basil is definitely sketchy, to say the least.
Incorrect.
Yeah, no. Okay. Qimir is venomous 100%. That's also a great theory. Darth Tenebrous had another apprentice before Plagueis, actually at the same time as Plagueis. It's a little iffy. Again, legend stories. And his name was Darth Venomous, and it's possible that he could be technically Darth Venomous, and that would make sense, because right now, like I said, Qimir was his alias, and we just refer to him as Qimir, but we don't know his Sith name. Currently, he's the Stranger, but he's not Darth the Stranger, and he's not Darth Qimir either. So it could be that we finally find out what Qimir's true name is, or his Sith name at least. Sorry. His Sith name at least, and it could be Darth Venomous, and that would be pretty cool. That would be a nice little nod to Legends and a nod to the fans who got that right, because a lot of fans have been saying Darth Venomous for weeks now, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Qimir and Kylo are great Siths. Well, Nathan, I think a lot of people would argue that Kylo Ren is not a Sith Lord. Yeah. The speculationer, great name, says, did you hear about a group hacked Disney, which means they have information about Star Wars and Marvel? I did not hear that. Some group hacked Disney? Interesting. I did not hear that. From now on, you shall be known as Darth Plagueis. I've heard that theory too. Qimir could be Darth Plagueis. Again, changing the species and everything. I don't like it. Qimir is very, very powerful. He's not a Mun. He's not. Darth Jeffrey? Okay. Vestra is covering it all up. I think so too. I think so too. It'll all be a massive cover-up. Yeah, Soul's going to die so hard, and Vestra is going to lie after she kills everyone. I don't know if she'll kill everyone, but she might cover up everything. Yeah, after everybody's already dead. For sure. His name is now and forever will be Smilo Ren. I never really liked the Smilo Ren. I mean, it's not horrible. Obviously, it's funny and he's got the smile, but it reminds me too much of Kylo Ren, and of course, normie fans are going to be confused by that. But I'm interested to see if he has a Sith name, and whether or not it's Darth Tenebrous, Darth Plagueis, Darth Venomous, or Darth something else. We shall see. Indara is a Sith for sure. A lot of people think that. I don't think so. We see Indara die in the opening sequence of this show, and in the flashbacks, she's really not showing any sort of inklings of being a Sith Lord or anything like that. So I don't think so. I'm going to say no. I would be very surprised if she was. We'll put it that way. When does the episode drop? The episode drops in about... What time is it? Again, I told you my time is off. Okay. It drops in about 6 hours and 13 minutes. So for me, that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for everybody else, it's probably a different time. So it's exactly in 6 hours and 13 minutes. That's a fact around the board, around the world. Yeah. For sure. Darth Whack-A-Mole. Darth Surveya Crystal. Surveya Crystal. Yeah, no. But I like it. I like where your head's at. Miguel says twins will be absorbed into the Sith Master. Like a Palpatine and Rise of Skywalker type thing? I doubt it. But I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. Kyle says, I'm hoping that we get a longer episode to tie things up in case there is no second season. Well, there will be a definitive ending, as Leslie Headland said. So, yes, there is probably going to be an ending. Hopefully some unanswered questions, and that will lead to a second season. Is there going to be a second season? Again, we don't know. A second season is possible, but not confirmed. Darth Salty Nut Roll, yes. Now that's a callback. Now that's a great callback. Yes, absolutely. Darth Salty Nut Roll for the win. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, what? Did you just go down to the bottom? Are you kidding me? Okay. Ian says, are you okay if they don't make Darth Tenebrous a Bith Sith? I would be more upset if they didn't make Darth Plagueis a Mun. We'll put it that way. Would I be upset? Probably. It wouldn't be my first option. I would rather them keep it the same. However, I'd be more upset if Plagueis is not a Mun. If that answers your question. Basil's got some moves, that's for sure. Basil's fight sequence, when he just fights the air in episode 6, might be the greatest fight sequence of this entire show. Yeah. Plagueis killed Venomous? Yes. In Legends. Again. I mean, Qimir could survive this show. Absolutely could survive this show. It's not confirmed that Qimir is going to be dying or anything. It's actually not confirmed that anybody's going to be dying. The lurker below says, nothing wrong with bringing Legends into canon, but they're doing it in a horrid way. How so? How so? Leslie worded it weird in the interview. If I had say, like, it is just her opinion. Oh, meaning that she didn't know for sure. Well, obviously she's going to word it weird. She's going to word it weird because she can't give away any information. If she spoils the ending, that would be a big old bummer. Yeah. Oscar says, he said Sith. There is no A before the word Sith. He said, oh, I get what you're saying. Qimir said Sith, not a Sith. That doesn't change anything. The word Sith was said directly to Sol's face. And he says the Jedi would call him Sith. That confirms to Sol, at least, that the Sith have returned. And if not, he's going to go back and tell the Jedi Council about this character that he fought in the forest that said that the Jedi would view him as a Sith. That's enough, I personally believe. They're going to fight again, so we'll see how that ends. Yeah. Jack Robbins in the house. Damien says, I would be much more okay with them changing Venomous to a human instead of a Bith. You mean Tenebrous? I agree. I would be more okay with that than I would be with Plagueis changing. Yeah. David Harewood as Tenebrous. Okay, let's talk about that. David Harewood. I said Harewood, but it's Harewood. David Harewood is a actor probably most known for his role as the Martian Manhunter in Supergirl on the CW. So David looks like this. And David it's been reported that he was cast in this Acolyte show. So this is David right here. Let's take a look at him. This is David Harewood. Maybe some of you recognize him for some role that he's been in, but it was rumored, or at least reported, that he was cast as a small role in the Acolyte show. Now, guys, we are 7 episodes into this 8-episode show, and guess what? We haven't seen this guy yet. Not once. Now, it is a small role, but a small role is a small appearance, and it could be that he could be Tenebrous or Plagueis or whomever the Sith Lord is going to be. And I see you guys talking about this, and I did see that as well. People were reporting that it's possible that David is going to be playing the Chancellor of the Senate. And that is a possibility that would be also in lines with what we were talking about earlier, with the Senate intervening and the Senate investigating the Jedi. But when is there going to be time for that? If this episode, again, is only 40 minutes and we have to resolve all the stuff between Qimir, Osha, Sol, May, Vestra, and all that, all those storylines need to be finished. When are we going to have time to go to the Senate? To go inside the Senate building and see a new chancellor possibly looking like David Harewood and seeing all this Coruscant stuff? When we have so much questions to answer when it comes to the twins and to Sol and to Qimir and how their stories end. Where's the time for that? I actually think it's way more likely that David here is most likely going to be cast as a Sith, and he probably won't look like this, but he has been known to wear a lot of makeup. This is him as Martian Manhunter here. He has changed the look of his face before. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Next season? No, he's going to be in this season. It was reported that he's been cast for this season. Yeah. We shall see. It is a very interesting thing. And again, reports have been wrong before. Not only might he not be playing the Chancellor, he might not even be in the show. It's a report. It's not confirmed that he's been cast in this show either. Yeah. Yeah. Venomous means nothing to 99% of people watching the show. That's true, Garrett, but it does now. If Qimir is confirmed, or at least revealed to be Darth Venomous, you don't think people care about that character now? Chimir's already become one of the fan favorite character out of this Acolyte TV series. People care about the character. If his new name, or his name the whole time, has been Darth Venomous, then people are going to like that character. It doesn't matter what name they give him, whether it's Darth Poopy Face or Darth Venomous. It doesn't people still love the character. Yeah. Qimir's Sith name should be Darth Strangerous. No. Celine says, I don't really see Qimir as a Darth. I'll wait to be surprised for tonight's episode, but he doesn't strike me as a Darth. Sith, yes, but I don't know if he's a Darth. Well, every Sith Lord gets a Darth name. Kylo Ren doesn't have a Darth name. The reason being, he's not a Sith Lord. Snoke isn't a Sith Lord either. But everybody else is. Count Dooku is Darth Tyrannus. By the way, probably one of the coolest Sith Lords names ever, and they don't even use it. They call him Count Dooku. Darth Maul, Darth Sidious is Palpatine. Darth Vader, of course. So, he's probably got a Sith name. What's the host name? My name, Harold? My name is Mike. Nice to meet you. Mike, yeah. It is weird, though. Like, I just assume that all of you guys know my name is Mike. I don't introduce myself every stream, but there is new people coming in and out of the stream. So, my name's Mike. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Yes, Darth Mike. No, it's Darth Salty Nut Roll. And if you know, you know. Yeah. According to legends, Venomous and Plagueis were around together. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which is interesting. Yeah, interesting. I believe they want to piss off the old fans and finally do away with toxic fans that claim that Star Wars belongs to them. It doesn't. It belongs to Disney. I don't think that at all. I don't think Disney is purposely trying to anger fans at all. And this Acolyte show is pretty much the perfect example of that. They're trying to create this great new story. It's not their fault that the fans, or at least some small portion of the fandom, is not attaching to it. That's not it at all. Yeah. I completely disagree. I don't think they're trying to piss off the old fans in the slightest. Look at The Mandalorian. Look at all these shows now that are trying to sort of please those fans. The Mandalorian's the perfect example of it. You got Luke Skywalker at the end of season 2, but even the feel of the show itself feels like the original trilogy, because it does take place right after the original trilogy. But it feels like the original stuff. It feels like pleasing those old fans. They love those old fans. They want to keep those old fans around to keep the generations going more and more and more. So they show their kids, they show their grandkids, whatever. Yeah. Yoda will kill Darth Basil with his green lightsaber. That brings up a good point. Let's talk about the green little friend we know as Yoda. Do you guys think that Yoda will be in tonight's episode? I'm actually going to start up a new poll for this. I don't know if I can. This is crazy. With almost 200 votes, it is 51% Darth Plagueis on this poll to 49% Darth Tenebrous. I feel like I should leave this poll up here for a little bit to see if it changes at all. I'm going to leave this poll up for a little bit, but we'll talk about it in the chat nonetheless. Do you think that Yoda, Master Yoda, will be in this episode, in the finale? This would probably mean that we're going to be seeing the High Council, and that could mean appearances from Yoda, Yaddle, Uriel Poof, Plo Koon, Oppo. Would anybody else be alive? If we're seeing the High Council, we'll probably see those characters. Master Yoda being the biggest one. I don't know. What do we think? I'm seeing a lot of no's. I am seeing a few yes, actually. Yes, Yoda. No, Yoda. No, Yoda. Interesting. See, now all you're just joking about Yoda versus Basil. Interesting. I got to pull this up. Okay, we're going to end the Plagueis and Tenebrous poll. It's very close, and I love a good close poll. But let's talk about Master Yoda, okay? By the way, that poll ended at 50% to 49%. Obviously, the math is not mathing, but that is probably one of the closest polls we've ever had. That is insane. With over 200 votes, it's almost 50-50 exactly, which is bonkers. But 50% of you say Plagueis to 49% saying Tenebrous. Wild. Okay, let's put this in. Do you think Yoda will be in the finale? Oops, that's not how you spell finale. Finale. Yes or no? Let's see it. Do you think Yoda will be in the finale? Yes or no? This is very interesting. If you asked me this 7 weeks ago, before the show started, I would have said yes, absolutely Yoda will be in this show. Now, I think it could really go either way. There could be a scene towards the end of the show where Vestra comes before the High Council and has to explain everything, or has to cover up everything. There also doesn't have to be that scene either. So it could go either way on this one, I think. Yoda maybe not. I would be surprised if he is, but not that surprised if he's not. I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm intrigued to see where you guys think. Wow, 75% of you say no. 25% say yes. We'll leave that poll up there for a little bit, see if that changes at all. I don't know. Yoda's an interesting one. We'll see. We shall see. Unless the budget has run out, then no. What does that mean? Wouldn't that be yes, unless the budget has run out? I feel like Yoda will be deep faked. Well, he would be CGI'd. They wouldn't puppet him. Yeah. Leslie Headland did report no Yoda in the Acolyte, but that was in an interview where she was directly asked whether or not Yoda will be in the show. And her response was, you think they would let me touch those characters? That's not a yes or a no. Interesting. I don't know. I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit. We'll see if it changes at all. But right now it's 75 to 25. 75 in favor of no Yoda. We shall see. Okay. It's 100 years before Revenge of the Sith, not the Phantom Menace. Actually, stay cutting. That's a good point. It's not really specifically one date, at least yet, as far as we know. This Acolyte show, we don't know exactly when it takes place. You are absolutely correct. It says 100 years before the rise of the Empire. Is the rise of the Empire mean Palpatine's rise to power? Or does it mean Order 66 specifically? Or does it mean the Empire as it's coming to power? Or as it's in power? I.e. the original trilogy. So there's probably a 10 to 15 to 20 year gap there that we don't really know when it takes place. So it could be maybe 90 years before the Phantom Menace, or it could be exactly 100 years before the Phantom Menace. We really don't know. But it's not that drastic of a difference. 10-ish years. Yeah, for sure. We don't know. It just says the rise of the Empire. That could be Palpatine's rise. That could be the exact time that the Empire rises in Order 66. We don't know. We don't know. Thomas says, I think if he was going to be a senator, it would have came out already. I say, instead they say that it's a small role. I agree. Why bring in this sort of big-time actor? Because he's a pretty big actor. David Harewood, we're talking about again here, this guy. Why bring him in if he's not going to be some sort of substantial role? Now, yes, the Chancellor of the Republic would be a pretty good role, but a Sith Lord? But a Tenebrous or a Plagueis would be pretty damn cool too. And he's got the voice for it. He's got a nice Sith voice, if I do say so myself. Yeah. Harrison says, there could be, what? I don't know what that means. Next season of Dragon Ball Z? What? What are you talking about? I gotta sneeze. Hang on. Whew. Okay. Sorry. Where was I? Dark Sky says, they don't have sense of time in this show. Trust me, this will show the Senate in it. By they don't have a sense of time, you mean the pacing is off? I don't know. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you all. Thank you, Fearless. Thank you all. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, the finale could be an hour and a half, for all I know. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, for all I know. But I just think they're not going to have enough time to explain everything. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, everybody, for blessing me. I appreciate it. Chris, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Tom says it would be displayed like it was before the unknown planet and then the Senate. What do you mean? No, they just say it was Coruscant again. Yeah. It's 48 minutes according to the leakers. I saw 43. Yeah, we don't really know. I saw 43, you see 48. Again, we're around sort of the same time. I wouldn't be surprised if it was around that 45-minute mark. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Indeed. The witches did nothing wrong? No, absolutely not. The witches did nothing wrong. The Jedi are the ones who kind of forced them into that situation. They were just trying to hide out on a planet that seemed to be dead from the Jedi's perspective. They were really just on the run for their lives. The witches didn't do anything wrong at all. Yeah. Indeed. Dead Mike says, you underestimate Leslie, bro. She got that. She got this. Don't freak out. Oh, I'm not freaking out at all. Here's my thing. I think this season so far has been great. If they stick the landing, I'll be fully pleased with this Acolyte show. My expectations will have been met. I don't think it's better than The Mandalorian. I don't think it's better than the Ahsoka show. I don't think it's even close. But it is a good show. And if they can stick this landing, if they can exceed my expectations with this landing, that'd be awesome. Jared says, Soul definitely will be the fall guy for whatever mess happens tonight. I agree with that. I agree. Jared, absolutely agree. Yeah. Harold says, are you guys blind? He's already been shown. Who's already been shown? Plagueis? Tenebrous? I don't believe. There are no small roles, only small actors. What? To the who now? Well, Coral might have done some wrong. By the way, still Maul's mom in my eyes, LOL. She is the same species, so, you know. No, I'm kidding. But she might have done something wrong. That's true. Coral kind of started the fight. But the Jedi started the fight by coming to their home and spying on them. Like they're just trying to live peacefully, you know? Robert says, 100 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire doesn't mean Revenge of the Sith. True. It places us around the time of the Phantom Menace when Palpatine's plans were put into motion, setting off the rise of the Galactic Empire. That's true, but when would the rise happen? The Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones is 10 years. Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith is about 3 more, something like that. So there's a pretty big 15-year-ish time gap that's in there. Star Wars Santa says, Vestra going to wear those fancy new white robes. What? StarWars.com mentions that she's wearing it in the scene that hasn't been shown yet. Really? I've not seen that. White robes. Do you think Vestra gets put on the council after this? I don't think she's on the council now, right? We shall see. We shall see. We won't see that. I'm certain that's all for season 2. Also, we're not getting a full answer or getting full answers this season. Only answers will be May, Osha, Sol, and Qimir. I think we will be getting a lot of answers tonight because this show is not confirmed to be getting a second season. So I think they know that, and they are probably going to be answering all of this. Yeah, for sure. William says, what if Sol turns himself in? What would the Jedi say after he tells the truth? Again, I don't know. If he goes to the High Council and says, look, I came into contact with the Sith Lord in the forest of Kovar, and I've also been lying to you for the last 16 years about what happened on Brendok, can they trust the guy? Like, how would that even go? I don't think we'll come to that. I don't think Sol will survive. But if it does come to that, can they trust Sol? It's a very interesting conversation, for sure. Jess says, hey, just got here. My bingo card has OSHA ascending tonight. Oh, should we make bingo cards for the finale? We did that with the Bad Batch finale. I don't know if we will tonight. But my bingo card has OSHA ascending tonight. Soul lives. Vestra blames the Jedi murders on Soul. Also, Vestra foresees the Chosen One prophecy. I kind of like that. I mean, maybe not Soul living, but I like the rest of it. Fearless says, the seed to frame Soul has already been planted that the Padawan, by that Padawan and Vestra. Yeah, I mean, Soul will be very easy to frame. He has so many connections to this story. He was the one who was there during the whole Brendok situation 16 years ago. His former Padawan looks like the girl, or is the girl, in any sort of way, who killed all the other Jedi. And Soul is the only remaining survivor from the forest of Kofar. It's pretty damn easy to pin this whole thing on Soul if that's what's going to go down. Yeah. I'm definitely giving Leslie room to leave some things unanswered for a second season. I agree that there will be some things unanswered, but I think a lot of them will be answered. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed. Well, it is possible for the Sith to walk away, not becoming a Darth. Yeah, I mean, I just think he has a Darth name. I do. I absolutely do. I don't know what it will be. Hopefully it's Darth Venomous, but we shall see. Indeed. The Real Zeal says, Disney has to make Star Wars for a broad range of people, and it isn't easy to do. Oh, absolutely not. Disney has the most difficult task. Just the most difficult task. I was going to say, like, ever, but it's not. It's a very difficult task to please all these generations of fans. Even George Lucas had the same task, and you could argue he failed. I mean, the prequel trilogy is so damn good. There is a pretty, not big portion, but a minority in the fandom, but a pretty big portion of fans that don't like the prequel trilogy. Think that it's just wrong. It's not Star Wars. You would be very surprised at how many comments I get, like, Revenge of the Sith sucks, like, all that stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? But the prequel trilogy was met with a lot of backlash because it's so different from the original trilogy. Look at the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars for the first 4 or 5 seasons was shit on. It was absolutely shit on. And now it's beloved by all. And we even got season 7 a few years ago, which was absolutely incredible. So it's a very difficult task. When you make something this big like Star Wars, when there's so many different portions of the fandom, you're never going to be able to please all of them. There's so many people that hated Luke Skywalker coming back in The Mandalorian. Hated it. Which sounds crazy to me, but it's their opinion, and it's valid to them. Absolutely valid to them. So there's people who love the sequel trilogy, hate the sequel trilogy. There's people who love Ahsoka, hate Ahsoka. It's a very broad Star Wars fandom that we have here, as you can tell, with this Acolyte show especially. And it is very, very hard to please everybody. It's impossible. It's impossible to please everybody. Impossible. It's not hard. It's impossible. So to please everybody is an insane goal to have, and it's not a goal that they will achieve ever. But you want more people liking than disliking. That's for sure. Yeah. Indeed. Darth Poopy Face. That would be a nice Darth Sith name. Each Sith in the Rule of Two has had the title of Darth and a Sith name. This is what the Rule of Two itself dictates. Exactly. What about before the Rule of Two? Did everybody have a Darth name? It's sad to haze people. Find something else to do. I mean, yeah, you'd be surprised. Yeah. After all, Star Wars is still for teens. Well, that was George Lucas's goal, to make this story for 12-year-olds. That's what he always said, for 12-year-olds. And clearly I'm not 12. And I'm sure many of you guys are not 12 either. And yet here we are sitting here talking about Star Wars. So, no, it's not. It's technically, yes, made for teens, but we're all here anyway. Noob says, what if Qimir wants to combine the twins, then steal their power, but because only one of them is marked, has the mark of many, Osha may die and then set May on a rage on everyone else around. I don't think they'll do that whole Qimir wants to take the power of the twins. Qimir wants a pupil. He wants an acolyte. He wants an apprentice. And he doesn't really want to take their power. It's not going to be a whole Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine, Rey situation. No. I don't think we're looking at a dyad in the Force by any means. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum, bum. Speaking of Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. The Acolyte Episode 8 will be another disaster. I certainly hope not. Mystic Troll says, I want Moff Gideon to somehow return in the Mandalorian Grogu movie just so that we can have him say, my clones, one more time. No. I hope not. Yeah. Harrison says, Vestra will end up as the Jedi representative in the Senate. And that's the downfall of the Jedi. She has selfish intentions to keep her and the Jedi's image clean, since Qimir was her former Jedi apprentice. We don't know that for sure. We don't know that she was once the apprentice, or Qimir was once the apprentice to her. But we can assume. We can assume. Yeah. By the way, 70% of you say no currently. Yoda will not be in this finale. Well, 30% of you say yes, so we'll see who's right in just a few short 6-ish hours. Celine says, a lot of people seem to be mad because Disney is supposedly ruining their favorite characters. Yes, that was a big issue with the sequel trilogy. A lot of people loved the characters of Han, Luke, and Leia. Rightfully so. They're the original trio. And they did not love what they did with them in the sequel trilogy at all. Splitting them all up, we never got a scene of all three of them on the screen together. Now, a lot happened between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy with those three characters that we didn't get to see. And that's why fans were so excited to see Luke again in The Mandalorian. And hopefully we get more of those trio in the Mandoverse time period. But with that being said, fans were extremely upset about that. They killed off Han in The Force Awakens. They killed off Luke in The Last Jedi. And they killed off Leia in The Rise of Skywalker. And they really didn't utilize those characters. But again, there's a whole 25-ish years in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy that is untapped. Yoda will come out. Oh, jeez. Yeah. No. Light Lord Master Rograr, sure, says Mando was fire. If the new trilogy came out after it, the script for 7 to 9 probably would have been better. LOL. I think The Mandalorian only succeeded because the sequel trilogy didn't. If that makes sense. Like, The Mandalorian probably wouldn't have been made at all if it wasn't for the sequel trilogy. You know? Dark Sky says, well, they are failing at keeping their fans with this show. LOL. Just bad writing. Torben is so... What? Relatable? LOL? I feel like that's sarcasm, but I don't understand why. Mando United says, I think he might have a cameo in the last scene after the credits. You're saying Master Yoda could have a scene after the credits? I don't know. Star Wars doesn't usually do post-credit scenes. They did with The Mandalorian Season 2 to set up the Book of Boba Fett. But correct me if I'm wrong, that's the only one ever, right? Has there ever been another post-credit scene in Star Wars? I think it's just the Book of Boba Fett one, and at the end of Mando Season 2. So I would be very surprised if this Acolyte show had one. Very surprised. Andor did? Oh, yeah, the Death Star. Andor did. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Andor had the Death Star, for sure. Indeed. But those two are the only ones, right? Those two. Andor had one. Yeah, Andor did. Absolutely. The Death Star. How could I forget? Yoda will kung fu style fight Darth Basil. Make it happen. I will try my best to make that happen, but with only 5.5-ish hours until the show airs, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that done in time. I just don't. I'll make a few calls. I'll try. The Book of Boba had one? What? What was that? Oh, yeah. What the hell's his name? Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth in the Bacta tank. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So I guess there have been a few. Maybe there is. Maybe there will be. Cobb Vanth. Forgot about that guy. That guy's awesome. He is one of the cool new characters of Disney Star Wars. That's for damn sure. He's underrated. Indeed. Oh, David with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. David says, I've enjoyed The Acolyte and theorizing weekly with my kids. Nice. It's not perfect, Star Wars. It's not perfect. Star Wars rarely is. I do want Plagueis to show up and stomp in this finale. Nice. Do a Basil impression? Does he even speak? I feel like he just goes around like going... That's my Basil impression. It's just sniffing. There you go. I appreciate it, David. I really, really do. Super chats are also another great way to support the channel. And you guys know, if you don't know, at least I should say, if you send in a super chat and ask me to do any Star Wars impression, I will do it. But it probably won't be that good. Hey, that Basil was pretty damn spot on, but it probably won't be that good if it's anything short of sniffing into a microphone. But let me go back to the first part of David's message. As he says, I've enjoyed The Acolyte and theorizing weekly. It's been fantastic. Being able to do that with your kids sounds awesome. Sounds fantastic. Tell your kids they got a lot of fun Star Wars ahead of them. But theorizing, it's just fun. Week to week, sitting here, just having fun with you guys has been just awesome. Kind of sad that it's ending, but of course, we're going to still have our weekly streams anyway, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the rest of your lives. But without a show to look forward to, it's just going to be talking about the news and what's going to be coming up, and it's going to be fun, but it's not the same as theorizing week to week on a new episode coming up. I just remember a few weeks ago when Yord and Jecki died, we were baffled. And for the next week, we were like, what the hell's going on? And how awesome episode 5 was. It's just awesome. And no, this show is not perfect. Not perfect at all. It's not. It's not. Absolutely not. It's not better than The Mandalorian. It's not better than Ahsoka. I've said it a million times. But it is good. It is good. Yeah. And you said it's not perfect and Star Wars rarely is. You're not wrong. I mean, Star Wars, it rarely is. I think Revenge of the Sith is a perfect movie. I think A New Hope is a perfect movie. I think Empire Strikes Back is a perfect movie. I think a lot of people would argue a little bit with Return of the Jedi. I think it's a perfect movie. I'm sure many of you probably don't. I think Rogue One is a perfect movie. I think The Mandalorian is a perfect show. I think Ahsoka is a perfect show. I think Rebels is perfect. I think Clone Wars has its moments of being perfect and others not so much. But yeah, there's so much Star Wars content now, and most of it's not perfect. Absolutely not. But hey, we're here to enjoy it. Most of it is great. Not perfect, but great. That's where we're at. Indeed. Wandering Disney Parks. Are you actually currently doing that right now? Love the username. Says, Disney already said that Yoda will not be in The Acolyte. You're saying Leslie Headland did. But again, she was asked directly if he would be in the show, and she said no. What do you think she's going to say? Yes? And ruin the surprise if he is in the show? I don't know. I think we'll see. I think we shall see. I think there is a 60% chance yes to Yoda being in it. Okay, interesting. But 70% of you, 71% of you now say no, he will not be. So we'll see. I like how people are triggered by The Acolyte, but weren't triggered by episodes 7 to 9. I don't know about that. A lot of people were pretty triggered by that sequel trilogy. Steve says he likes The Acolyte more than Ahsoka. I respect that. For me, Ahsoka's just so much better than the show, but I get it. I get it. I know why Ahsoka is so much better to me than it is for a lot of people, but that's just, it is what it is. I think Ahsoka is perfection, but that's just me. Nathan says, a maybe from me. I think the High Council goes with Vestra. But if we see the High Council, Nathan, Yoda's going to be on that. Yoda's been on the High Council for years. So I think if we do see the High Council, we're going to be seeing it. Yeah. Yoda, that is. Not it, I guess. Zoe says, hi, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Good to be here. Well, I appreciate you for tuning in anyway, Zoe. But next time, show up on time. Damn it. What do you think this is? Come to live stream late day? No. Be on time. Just kidding. Much love. Where was I? We were going to blame it all on Soul. I think they probably will. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Jess A. Kai. It's Jess, right? You told me Jess, I believe. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Jess, I appreciate it quite a bit at the night level as well. Again, becoming a member, super chats, best way to support the channel, of course, other than just watching. So I appreciate it. Where was I? Oh, Yoda isn't a full-age power to sense everything going on in the universe. It is 100 years old younger Yoda, which would be interesting to see. But I don't know how powerful he would be at this moment. Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, yes, Discord. I always forget to mention the Discord. There's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. It's completely free. Go join that Discord. Keep the conversation going after streams. Yeah, that Discord is a lot of fun. So we got over 175-ish some odd people in there. A lot of fun people, a lot of talking Star Wars, and I appreciate all the people in there. So if you're not in that Discord, go join it immediately. Okay, where was I? Tony says, Yoda will show up just to say the name of his species and his homeworld. No. If I do know one thing, I know that Dave Filoni's now in charge, and he will not let that happen. William says, we haven't gotten an answer to what the Trade Federation was hiding in Episode 1. That is true. I think it was more just to establish that the Trade Federation has always been sort of mischievous, hiding things, that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, I know. Not Yoda, but Yaddle. It would be kind of cool to see Yaddle again, because Yaddle's only in The Phantom Menace, and then, of course, years later, she's in the Clone Wars and in Tales of the Jedi, but she's got a very short appearance in that Phantom Menace scene in the Jedi Council, and then she dies in between movies, so I'd love to see Yaddle, for sure. Love to see it. Wandering Disney Parks, again, are you currently doing that, or says, no Yoda, he is too young to be on the council. No, Yoda's about 700 by the time of this show, so he'd be perfectly old enough. Yeah. Damien says, no, this show titled The Acolyte should end focusing on the Acolyte and not the Jedi. That is true, Damien, and I agree with you, but it will feel weird to be focusing on the bad guys at the end of the show instead of the good guys. I can't really wrap my head around it, honestly. Every show so far, from The Mandalorian to Ahsoka to Andor to Kenobi to The Bad Batch to the Clone Wars to Rebels to all of it, has been focusing on the good guys. So to end a show with the bad guys winning and focusing on those characters specifically is going to feel weird and feel kind of off, but I agree with you. That's how it should be. It is the Acolyte, and it should end with the bad guys winning. And let's be honest, the best Star Wars stuff ends with the bad guys winning. Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One. There's something about it. There's just something about it. Yeah. Provaz says, amazing. $180 million to prolong a tease of a real villain at the end. A real villain? Saying Qimir's not a real villain? Qimir is one of the coolest characters to be introduced to Star Wars ever. I think it was worth it. Adam says, yes, and it may be revealed that Yoda is actually seduced by the dark side. I don't know about that. But Yoda is definitely sort of more tapped into the Force than other Jedi, so to speak. He especially in the prequel trilogy, it's clear that he's more sort of feeling that dark side presence than anybody else. Yeah. Don't want to pull attention to him, even though I would enjoy him. So you're saying if Yoda came in, he would be sort of a distraction? I guess, unless he shows up at the very end after everything's kind of done. Yeah. Robert says, ever? Really? I mean, think about it. Yes, there's some amazing characters in Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I could list them till the cows come home. But yeah, ever? Really? Like, there's a lot of Star Wars characters. Absolutely a lot of Star Wars characters. I agree with you. There's hundreds of thousands that have names, I guess. But when you think about all of them, Qimir's got to be towards the top 100 at least. You know? Yeah, I know. Audio's cutting in and out. That might be on your end. I think we're pretty... my stream settings say good on this end. They say good on this end. Indeed. Indeed they do. Why did that not show up on this side of things? Interesting. Okay. What the hell? Trek Anderson with a very generous $2 holla says top 3 characters from the Andor show that aren't him. Okay, that aren't Cassian. Interesting. I'd say my favorite while watching the show was Luthen. Luthen Rail. This is tough. Luthen. You got to put Kino Loy in there. I just don't know if he'll be number 2 or number 3, but I'll put Kino Loy in there. And number 3. This is tough. I would say maybe Bix. Mon Mothma's good too. Yeah, that's true. Bix. Oh, Cassian's mom, Martha. She was pretty great. I mean that finale for sure has Martha in there. But top 3, I got to go Kino in no particular order. Luthen, Kino Loy, and Bix, I think. Probably. Yeah. You know who's my least favorite is Cereal. Cereal eating cereal. Yeah. Hate that guy. What's the ISB lady's name? Starts with a D. Somebody please help me. What is it? Dendra? What the hell's her name? What is it? Starts with a D. I know that for a fact. Cyril's mom. Cyril's mom's. Let's be honest. Cyril eating cereal the entire show. Like, what was the point? Dedra. That's what it was. Dedra. Thank you. Dedra. Okay. Yes. I knew it started with a D and ended with an A. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. We do. Okay. Here's the deal. All right. Whatever. Moving on. Okay. Do you think we will see Mother Coral again? Probably not in this season. If there is a second season, I would probably say yes. Droidicas? Oh, of course. But I'm going to say no. Not in this season. Maybe. But I'm going to say no. The Sabersmith says no to Yoda. I don't want him to be, but I'm probably going to be salty after this finale. Oh, you don't want to be, but I'm probably going to be salty after this finale. I'm hoping they stick the landing. That'll be very telling immediately if they do stick the landing or not, but we'll see. We shall see. Don't forget B2. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the droid. Huh. That's true. Do I think Darth Tenebrous will appear at the end of the episode? I hope so. But if I'm being completely realistic, I don't know. I really don't. Andor was excellent. Andor was excellent. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think that Osha will become Qimir's acolyte. I agree with that, but I don't know where May fits into that, though. Like, is May going to die? Or is she just going to come along for the ride? Or will they combine into one being? She might kill May or Soul might become May's master, and everybody will be in their destined place. I don't know if May was destined to become a Jedi. That's a little out there. Yeah. Hopefully it has all action like Episode 5. I will say this. Episode 5 is the best episode of this show, by far. And it is the best because of the action sequences, but a lot of information is given to us in that 5th episode. So yes, it is all fights, but the stuff that's being said is just as important as well. So yes, I do hope it's exactly like Episode 5 as well. I hope this finale just sticks it just like it, for sure. Povaz says, do you sincerely think that the show is good writing? If you do, I would love for you to give an example. Okay, first of all, I will say this show is good writing. And here's my example. Things from episode 1, 2, and 3 are now coming to fruition in episode 6, 7, and most likely 8. A well-written show, or let's put it this way, a poorly written show is one that has no path. It has no sort of vision moving forward. Everybody says when I come up with a theory, or not everybody, I should say, some people are saying when I come up with a theory, you really think that Leslie Headland is smart enough to think of that? Yes. This show has been interconnected from the very start. From episode 1, scene 1, with the fight between May and Indara, this entire thing has been played out strategically from the jump. So when I'm thinking about all these crazy theories, it's because it's likely to come true. Now, not all of them will come true, but the writing in this show is good, as it's very interconnected and telling a greater story in the Star Wars universe while adding to the lore of Star Wars. That's exactly what a well-written Star Wars show is. It's an entertaining story with great action sequences that adds to the lore of Star Wars and entertains you. The Acolyte's not like episode 10 of a Star Wars trilogy. It's a secluded story 100 years before everything. It's its own story. And if you look at it like that, it's great. The story itself is good, but the way it's being told is great as well. Yeah. Oppo tonight, you think? I hope that answers your question. It's very hard to describe what good writing is and what bad writing is, but you know it when you see it. That's sort of what I'd say. And again, it's a purely opinion-based thing as well, because a lot of people would say that Andor is a very well-written show. Well, a lot of people absolutely hate Andor. So, I mean, it's very subjective, not objective. Yeah. But I would just say, again, that everything that happened in episode 7 is pretty much just... Episode 3 is probably the most hated for many reasons. But episode 3 walked so that episode 7... Or episode 3 crawled, I guess, so that episode 7 could walk, is how I would put it. Yeah. Yeah. Qimir only wants one of the twins, but that was for the season 2? What? Man's in love with a woman. Osha and Qimir are enemies to lovers. It's Oshmir, I think. I certainly hope not. Yeah. Top 5 bad guys in Star Wars. Number 1, Vader. Where did that list go? Dang it. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that list. Where'd it go? Fearless. Let me see that list. Number 1, Vader. Number 2, Kylo Ren. Number 3, Qimir. Number 4, Thrawn. Number 5, Dr. Hemlock. That's a crazy list. For me, it'd go Vader. Vader's just Anakin Vader, my favorite character. You gotta put Palpatine in there. I don't know if he'd be at 2 or not, but Palpatine would be in the conversation. Thrawn's definitely in the conversation. Thrawn's interesting because it's mostly the legend stuff with Thrawn that I'd be referring to that. So let's go canon-wise. I still think Thrawn might be in there because of his canon novels and Rebels and Ahsoka, but We'll leave him off the list for now. Darth Maul, definitely. He might actually be number 2. So let's go Vader 1, Maul 2. And mostly the Maul stuff is from Rebels and Clone Wars anyway. But we'll go Vader 1, Maul 2. This is tough. Palpatine 3, I'd say. This is very difficult. I'd put Qimir maybe at 5. I don't know. I wouldn't put Dooku in my top 5. I wouldn't put Grievous in my top 5. I wouldn't put Hemlock in my top 5. Kylo Ren, maybe? I don't know. I wouldn't put Kylo in my top 5. Again, if Kylo gets a crazy backstory, then maybe. That's difficult. That's a very... Cad Bane. Okay, bounty hunters. I didn't even think of bounty hunters. Cad Bane's my favorite bounty hunter. He'd have to be up there. Yeah, Cad Bane for sure. Darth Revan. Again, though, I'm talking canon. So Darth Revan is canon. Like, he exists in canon, but he's not... We haven't seen his story in canon. Yeah. Tarkin, Jabba, yeah. Star Wars needs good villains badly. I mean, what are you talking about? They got the best villains in cinema history. Bane, Cad Bane, or Darth Bane? Again, Darth Bane, we haven't really explored him in canon much. All those old Republic guys we haven't really gotten to yet. Yeah. Cad Bane is my favorite villain. Really, all time? That's pretty high. That's some high praise. He's my favorite bounty hunter for sure, but yeah. Okay, where was I? I got completely sidetracked by Fearless's list of bad guys. Okay, let me scroll back up here. Kit Fisto, what's up? Okay. Cole Rita says, yo, Brandon, how long have you been a mod, or am I tripping? Yeah, we made Brandon the mod last stream, and I'm probably looking for 1 or 2 more, as this chat has gone completely off the rails, especially with this Acolyte shell. But yes, Keto says, I'm trying my best to enjoy it. Truly I am. I just want George Lucas Star Wars, or George Lucas back at Star Wars, or George Lucas Star Wars back? George Lucas back at Star Wars is never going to happen. I think maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff. He's been on the sets of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all that, but I don't know if he'll ever work on Star Wars again, as he's just obviously in his 80s now, and he sold the company for a reason. I'd love to have him back, and working on anything would be fantastic, but I don't think that's what he wants to do. That's sort of the big issue. But yeah, I mean, it is tough. But you do have some great stories coming out right now. Like, that's the big thing. Light Lord says, Rogue One, you could argue, is the best Star Wars movie. Again, to my point, you do have some great Star Wars stuff coming out right now. Rogue One, you could argue, is the best Star Wars movie. I would not be mad at you if you said that Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie. I don't agree. I think there are a few that are better, but it is that good. It is on that level of being that good. Yeah. Christopher says, I loved The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Not so much Rise of Skywalker, but people liked that. Good on them. I liked The Acolyte a lot more than I liked Ahsoka, despite being a really massive Rebels fan. Interesting. That's a crazy take. And being a big Last Jedi fan is a crazy take too. I respect it. I respect it for sure. I'm not a big Last Jedi fan. That's... Yeah. But respect it. Thomas says, yeah, 7 to 9, awful. I've said it enough. We don't want another Rey movie. Interestingly enough, I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy, but I am optimistic about the Rey movie. I just hope it's good. Like, that's the biggest thing, is I want it to be good. I want all Star Wars to be good, and then I'll judge it as it comes in. But the Rey movie has the chance to learn from its mistakes, the sequel trilogy mistakes, and continue the story beyond the sequel trilogy, which is a big thing. You got to continue the the story of Star Wars beyond the sequel trilogy, because we can go back in time all we want, to the Acolyte, to the High Republic, to the Old Republic, to the Dawn of the Jedi. But we got to move past the sequel trilogy as well. So the Rey movie has to kick us off into a great spot there. But I do understand the trepidation behind it. The lurker below says, I enjoy it, but I hate that it is in the dark and difficult to see. I don't know what you're referring to. The Acolyte show in general, or episode 5, or something completely different. I apologize. Similar to Kenobi versus Vader in Kenobi show, it was very difficult to see the actors themselves fighting, just the lightsabers moving. Maybe the lurker below, and this might just be, just maybe. Try turning up the volume. Try turning up the volume. No, try turning up the brightness on your TV. Just maybe. Oh, Star Wars Jedi Chat Podcast. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars Jedi Podcast. I appreciate that quite a bit. At the night level, my goodness. You guys are feeling very generous today. I appreciate it quite a bit. Zoe says, my username is literally Ahsoka Stand. So I'm with you, Mike. Still loving this show, though. That's awesome. Yeah. Ahsoka was really hit different for me. I don't know what it was. Well, I kind of do know what it was, but it's so good. So good. Now that was great writing. Talk about great writing. Jared says, I loved Rebels, but hated Sabine in Ahsoka so much. I've heard that take a lot, actually, Jared, that people really didn't like Sabine Wren in live action. I've also heard a lot of people like really in love with Sabine in live action. A lot of you guys in the chat. Shout out to Honey Badger, who I know is not here right now, but if you know, you know. Yeah. I liked Sabine in live action. I thought Natasha did a fantastic job. She wasn't my favorite live action version of a Rebels character. I would say Ezra. I'm a big Ezra guy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cole says, Cole Rita, I respect that. Nothing personal, but doesn't have to be personal because I don't like what you like. Love the energy. God bless. Well, that's a nice message. I don't know what the conversation was, but that's very nice. Wait, this isn't come to live stream late day? Oh no, you missed it. That was, I don't know, what should we make that day? May the 4th? No. Yeah. Mystic Troll says, I think the Acolyte is better than Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett, but worse than Ahsoka. Just my opinion. Again, just your opinion. Harrison says, only problem with Ahsoka is to fully enjoy it. Rebels previewing is kind of a must. I agree with that to an extent. I know people and have talked to people who have watched Ahsoka that haven't seen Rebels or the Clone Wars who still enjoyed it. But I completely agree with you that watching Rebels and the Clone Wars, if it was me personally, I would have way rather have seen those beforehand. Like, way rather. And actually, I am currently with the girl who loves Star Wars, watching through the Clone Wars because she hasn't seen it, and I call her the girl who loves Star Wars. She loves Star Wars, but not to the extent that we do. She hasn't seen most of the shows. But we're going through Clone Wars right now because we're going to watch Clone Wars, then Rebels, then Ahsoka. We'll watch The Mandalorian first and that stuff too. But yeah, I want to do it right and have her know who Ahsoka is from the Clone Wars all the way up through Rebels and learn the Ghost Crew, and then, of course, know the story going in. Yeah. Mike, let's do a Ahsoka rewatch sometime. I would totally do an Ahsoka rewatch, 100%. Yeah. If we're ever in a really, like, dead spot in Star Wars, maybe we'll do something like that. For sure. Clamant, what's up, says, do you think that there will be a link between Star Wars Eclipse and the Acolyte? That's actually a great question. So Star Wars Eclipse is supposed to take place in sort of the same sort of time period of this Acolyte show. So maybe. I would say maybe. Star Wars Eclipse, to me, when the trailer dropped so many years ago, felt sort of like a secluded story. And so does The Acolyte, but I feel like they're different secluded stories. So maybe there's very little connections, but maybe not. Yeah. And apparently my Basil impression is on the Discord. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate that. Yoda is a drunk at this time. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right, I'm going to end this Yoda poll. Yeah, I'll say that. Robert says, Ahsoka was a fun watch. I find The Acolyte has been much more engaging week to week with various mysteries and speculation. Wasn't so much the case with Ahsoka. Interesting, and I fully respect that. For me, I was more intrigued with Ahsoka week to week because I feel like, well, one, I was way more attached to those characters, but two, I feel like we kind of knew what was coming a little bit. We knew that Anakin was coming, the World Between Worlds was coming, Thrawn was eventually coming, Ezra was coming. So we were anticipating that a little bit more. With The Acolyte, there's not really much that we were anticipating. Yes, there was more mystery, and I agree with that. So there's kind of a little bit more to speculate about. It's very similar to The Bad Batch almost. The Bad Batch Season 3 was a lot of speculation. A lot. Yeah, for sure. Jason likes you, says, hey, I'm back. Had much learning stress in high school in Germany. How are you? I'm doing great, Jason. Well, hopefully that's over with now. And I'm glad you're back. Indeed. It's pronounced Jess, but with a Z sound, not S. Just was stopping you from calling me Jez. So Jez, is it Jez then? Or G's? Because I called you G's. I get you. So is it Jez? I hate mispronouncing people's names. It's like I hate it. So I want to get everybody's name correct. And when there's easier names, it's obviously easier. It's Jez. If it's Jez, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay. We love Sith action. That's why we loved Ahsoka. Yeah, but there's no Sith action in Ahsoka. Well, I mean, you have Baylan Skoll, but he's not technically a Sith. And you have Anakin, but he's also at the time not really technically a Sith. But yeah. Would love a Yaddle appearance, a short appearance. Haha, I get it, short appearance. Love a good short joke. Hilarious. Okay. Yeah, funny. Okay. Yoda plays annoying tech billionaire. What? What to the who now? Stellan Gios was definitely one of my favorites. Stellan is a cool character in the High Republic. I don't know if he was my favorite. Again, I've only read Phase 1 of the High Republic, so I couldn't really tell you. What are we going to discuss after The Acolyte? That's a great question, Catherine. Usually, and again, a lot of you were here before The Acolyte, but a lot of you weren't, so I'll explain. We have a stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's regardless of whether there's a Star Wars show coming out currently or not. So once the show ends, which is tonight, we'll still have our stream Thursday, we'll still have our stream Saturday, and then Tuesday again, and then Thursday and Saturday for the rest of time. Now, the stuff that we will talk about will be majority, easy for me to say, just Star Wars news that's coming out, because usually the news ramps up when the shows die down. So Disney wants to keep you intrigued and talking about Star Wars and watching Star Wars and rewatching Star Wars. So they release new news. Obviously, we got trailers probably for Star Wars Outlaws to start to break down, and then Skeleton Crew's right around the corner. So a lot of just news, speculation, all that stuff. Hype. D23's in early August, so in a few weeks we'll be getting a lot of new announcements for Star Wars stuff. Actually, Star Wars is a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, which is next week, I believe. Next week? Something like that. I believe 2 weeks maybe. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we have to get into, new announcements, all that stuff. So after the show ends, yes, we will have stopped talking about The Acolyte, but then comes the next show. Skeleton Crew, and then announcements for new stuff, new animated shows, new live action shows, all that. There's never a shortage, usually, when it comes to Star Wars. Usually it's more me reading news articles and talking about it with you guys. Like, this live stream has been solely just us predicting what's going to happen tonight and what could happen tonight and talking about the Acolyte in general. That's not usually how these live streams work. Like, not at all. Yeah, so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My big problem with the Acolyte is that it was supposed to be about the Sith, and it's not really about, or it's supposed to be a Sith show, and it's not really a Sith show. Honestly, I think that was like the fans' fault. This show was never really publicized as a Sith show. It was supposed to be a bad guy-centered show, which technically it kind of is with Qimir and May and Osha, but it's also focused on the Jedi at the same time. So it's just a show in general. But it is called The Acolyte, and it is going to be hopefully ending in a darker way, but it has had a lot of Sith influence on it. I agree with you that a Sith-centered show would be more likely. Skeleton Crew in December, they say the holiday season. So the holiday season could mean December, which is Christmas, or it could mean November, which is Thanksgiving, which is technically still in the holiday season, or it could even be the end of October, which is Halloween. So I would guess November, probably late November, if I were guessing. Yeah. Yoda needs to be seen. He is one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars. It would be an absolute mistake to not utilize the fact that the Jedi, or that he is a Jedi in his prime here. I don't know if it's his prime. I mean, when do you think Yoda's prime is? If he dies at 900, you think his prime is 700? I'd say his prime is 400 or 500. But no, I get what you're saying. A younger Yoda. I'd love to see him. I just don't know if we will. I really don't. Yeah. Matt says, honestly, I'm very worried about this finale. I wouldn't say I'm worried, more cautiously optimistic. I do hope that they stick the landing. Kind of got to prepare myself for the worst, especially that I'm the one who has to sit up here and take all the shit if it isn't the best during the live watch party. But I'm hoping for the best. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Kenobi, Ahsoka, Mando was good, and you all are wild. LOL. A lot of people didn't like Kenobi. I liked Kenobi's finale. I thought the finale was incredible, and I actually think the second to last episode was incredible too. It's the earlier episodes for me that didn't hit as hard. I don't think it's bad by any means, but it definitely wasn't as good as it could have been. 43 minutes. How long are the credits? It might be 43 minutes without credits. I really have no idea how long tonight's episode is going to be, guys. I don't want to persuade you one way and then be disappointed, so I wouldn't get your hopes too high that it's going to be a very long episode, but that doesn't necessarily mean long episode equals good episode. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Short episodes tend to be the better ones when it comes to Star Wars shows. Look at The Mandalorian, or look at even Jedi, Tales of the Jedi. Razor T says, this is supposed to be the first show that focuses on the Sith. People have said that it doesn't do that enough, but if it ends with scenes of the Sith, it's going into second season, truly following them, then it would make sense. Yeah. I mean, this show has focused on the Sith, or at least focused on the bad guys, for the most part. With Qimir and Osha in episode 6 and all that stuff with May in the earlier episodes. So, I mean, we spent more time with the bad guys here than we have in a long time, or probably ever, honestly. You see bad guys a lot in Star Wars, but you don't spend time with them like you did in episode 6. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not Sith-centered, that's for sure, but it is Sith-adjacent, Sith-parallel. Just throwing out a bunch of geometric terms here. Yeah. David says, maybe we'll see Dark Yoda from Season 6 of the Clone Wars. I doubt it. Yeah. I doubt it. Can we all agree that the Solo movie sucked? Jared, I think you're going to be met with actually a lot of opposition to that statement. I liked the Solo movie. I did. And I think a lot of you would agree with me that the Solo movie is extremely underrated. The Solo movie got tanked because of The Last Jedi. And a lot of people just being upset with the sequel trilogy in general. So, I'm a big Solo advocate, actually. I like the Solo movie quite a bit. But, yeah. It's like Harrison said, it's a fun watch. It's not the best Star Wars movie by any means. It's probably not even in my top... I mean, there's only 11 movies. It's probably not even in the top half of the movies. It's probably in the bottom half. But it's a fun watch, for sure. Yeah. A lot of great characters in The Acolyte. I agree. Like, you look at the Acolyte show, you got introduced all these brand new cast of characters. Kelnaka's great, Indara's great, Sol is great, Torben's great, Qimir is great. May and Osha probably are more of the weaker characters of the show, and they just happen to be the main ones. Yeah. For sure. I enjoyed Cyril and Dedra as well. Close to 4th and 5th. Dedra was great. Cyril, not so much. He just ate Cyril the entire time. Like, come on. Come on. Red Rex Leader, what's up, says, hi everybody, I'm a sub now. Nice. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Actually, let me check, because I think we're on a watch here. Let's check this out. Oh, we just passed it. Okay, so right before this live stream, we were about to hit 62,000 subscribers, and we did successfully hit 62,000 subscribers. So I appreciate all of you. Round of applause for you guys. I appreciate it so much, more than you will ever know. We hit 62,000 subscribers probably minutes ago, actually. So let's celebrate a little bit here. 62,000, great milestone. Let's keep it going. We are on the road to 70,000, of course, and on the road to 100,000, where you guys know at 100,000, I will be dumping this entire filled to the brim cup of water on my head. And as you can tell, it's bigger than my head. So that will be quite entertaining, to say the least. But 62,000. We did it. We did it. Okay. Moving on. That's pretty awesome. I'll just celebrate off screen by myself. No, I'm kidding. Okay. The lurker below says, I didn't get a chance to answer it earlier about bringing legends into canon. Cortosis introduced in the night fight in episode 5, and not being explained until the next episode. No build-up, just out of nowhere. You're saying that as a bad thing? I thought that was really cool. I mean, you introduce something new, you don't want to explain it like right away. So it left people going, how the hell did Qimir turn off those lightsabers? And it led a lot of people to go to do breakdowns. It was really cool for me being a creator to go, hey, look, in my breakdown, Cortosis, it's a cool thing. Look at this. And then the next week, they actually kind of explain it without fully explaining what it is, you know? So I like that aspect of that, honestly. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And bringing Cortosis from Legends into canon is just another cool aspect of doing such things, for sure. Where was I? Okay, we are probably going to get on out of here as we just passed the 2-hour mark. So before we do, drop your final predictions for this Acolyte finale. This is the last time. I guess not really the last time, because we're going to have 15 minutes during the watch party beforehand. But this is one of the last times you'll have a chance to give any of your predictions out, or you'll never get them out. This is it. The show ends tonight. This is it. Of course, we will be doing a live watch party at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15 minutes before showtime. But throw your final predictions into the chat now. Okay. Let me, while you do that, let's do this. I want to thank the people who became members and gave super chats. So, Star Wars Santa, Jez, Now I feel like I'm saying it wrong every time. Jez and Star Wars Jedi Podcast, I appreciate all of you for becoming members at the night level. And David and Trek Anderson for the very generous super chats as well. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. Let me do this really quickly. Okay. And let's see your final predictions for this show. Let's see it. And by the way, thank you guys for the congratulations on 62,000. I appreciate it quite a bit. Dead Mike says, you said you were going to take your shirt off at 62,000, bro. Did I? Oh, well, no. It's not that kind of show. I mean, it could be for the right. Yeah, no. No.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Family show. Okay, where was I? Jar Jar Binks' parents will die in the Acolyte? Oh, okay. Absolutely loved The Bad Batch. Some of my favorite Star Wars. Oh yeah, The Bad Batch is severely underrated. It's not really in the conversation when it comes to great Star Wars, and it should be, especially that third season. It should be. Yeah. Insurgent Ewok says, May was dressed like a Knight of Ren, also minus the helmet. Also minus the helmet. So maybe Osha and May will join Qimir. May was dressed like a Knight of Ren? When? Oh, in the earlier episodes, you're saying? Interesting. Please explain the dots on Indara's face. Oh, you mean like the one next to her eye? I don't know. Just there. I don't know. A lot of people have different markings. I don't know. You didn't like The Bad Batch? Dang, that's a bummer. A lot of EU fans knew what cortosis was immediately. That's true, and that's always kind of fun when you have like an inside baseball type knowledge when that stuff happens. Soul dies and Qimir is alive. I like that. I think Qimir will live. Either his master shows up and kills him, or his master shows up and takes him away. Maybe tortures him a little bit. That'd be crazy. But we'll see. In the future, you'll probably... Wait, what? In the future, you'll probably be a known Star Wars YouTuber? Well, as long as I'm known to you guys, it's really all that matters. What is a known Star Wars YouTuber anyway? You know? What does that mean? As long as I get to come here and have fun, that's all that matters. Qimir kills Soul. I could see that. I could also see Osha killing Soul. But we will see. Will Yoda have a baby? I think so. We will have more questions than answers after tonight's episode, you think? Interesting. All right, Thomas, put it in stone. David Harewood, Sith. It'll be wild. If David Harewood shows up as Plagueis or Tenebrous, that would be absolutely insane. I'd be totally down for that. I'd absolutely be totally down for that. Jay says, I think the Jedi will kill Soul and blame him for everything. I don't know if the Jedi will kill him specifically, but I think he will die. And yes, Vestra will have the chance to blame him for everything. I wonder if the Senate, that conversation in episode 6, is really going to become something important. I hope it does, because that, again, would be an example of great writing. That one little throwaway scene in episode 6 is going to become the most important thing come episode 8. That's freaking genius. My prediction is that the episode ends. That's a great one. How about this? The series ends. Crazy. Okay. Fearless says, Osha becomes the next Acolyte at the end, and May and Soul can't save her. I like it. Vestra covers up the entire thing. I like that too. Christoph says, Plagueis will arrive on the unknown planet. Ooh. Plagueis will arrive. Plagueis or Tenebrous? Plagueis or Tenebrous? We'll see. Ewok says, Soul dies, twins emerge, Indara's eye dot explained, and Plagueis and Tenebrous revealed. I don't know if there's much to do with, like, what's the fascination with Indara's eye dot? You know? It's just a dot on her face. Qimir kills Soul as if he succeeds, then Plagueis shows up and kills Qimir. Ooh, that would be crazy. We're seeing Qimir's master tonight. I think we will. I'm getting hyped up. Are you hyped up? 5 hours left? Yeah, we got 5 hours till showtime. 5 hours. Crazy. Get the popcorn. I might actually make popcorn tonight. Should I make popcorn and put it in the Yoda? Should I make popcorn and put it in this in this awesome R2 popcorn bucket that I got for the Phantom Menace showing? Let me just rip off R2's head really quickly. What the heck? This thing's... Oh, there we go. See, look, it's a popcorn bucket. Should I put some popcorn in here? And a drink actually goes in the head, too. Do it? All right, maybe I will. But do you guys really want to hear me going on popcorn for the watch party? Yeah, you guys can deal with it, you know? I want popcorn. I'm losing it. I'm really losing it, guys. Look at R2's bigger than Chopper back there, actually. He wouldn't even fit in this shelf. Big ass R2. Okay. Ah, no. Now his head really wants to come off. Ah! Put your head back on. There we go. Go back in the corner where you belong. Okay. Where was I? Jim O'Kane says, what's up, Jim? I think Sol and May will die. Osha will become Qimir's acolyte by killing Sol without a weapon. Oh, that would be awesome. Qimir may reveal himself as Tenebrous or Plagueis and give Osha a Sith name. I really hope not on that last part, but I really hope so on that first part of imagine Osha kills Sol without a weapon to become the acolyte. That'd be cool. Yeah. Lucid Dreamer says Darth Plagueis revealed and Sith win and Sol is framed. Okay. So it seems like we're kind of on sort of the same path with a little bit of variations to it, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. Joseph says, prediction, Sol and Vestra die. May and Osha become one. May and Osha become Qimir's acolyte. And Oppo will be in the episode tonight. Well, if Oppo's in the episode, then the rest of the Jedi Council's probably in it too. Meaning Yoda, Yaddle, Uriel Poof, Plo Koon. Maybe. Oh, a super sticker from Marjan. I appreciate that quite a bit. I appreciate it. Where was I? Qimir was a season 2 villain that was pushed into season 1 because they liked the actors so much. That's why he's not connected with any of them, with anything else from this season. Qimir is not connected. Well, as far as we know, he's not connected. He could be connected to all of it. Again, we don't really know. He could be the former Padawan to Vestra, and he could be connected in some sort of way to the witches, as he can get inside of people's heads just like the witches could. But I do not think that he was a villain created for season 2 that was pushed into season 1, because season 2 was not like, this was created as a straightforward story with a definitive ending for one season, not multiple seasons. Yeah. Do it? Okay, I'll make the popcorn. Actually, I gotta go out and buy the popcorn first, but I'll make the popcorn. I haven't had popcorn in a while, and I'm now just, craving it quite a bit. Harrison says, the path of the open hand, witches also have the hand tattoo. Or their hands tattooed, sorry. And we don't see Indara's hands. So you think she was a member of the Path of the Open Hand? Didn't the Path of the Open Hand end like hundreds of years before this? Or am I mistaken? Again, my High Republic knowledge is thin. Maybe you're onto something, but I just don't think so. I think Indara is not that special. I know people want her to be because it's Carrie Ann Moss, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I hope we get to see young Plagueis. Me too. Jim says, David Harewood could be a senator or even Supreme Chancellor, or he could be Tenebrous. I think Tenebrous' species could be changed to human, as he is not canon, but Plagueis is canon. Plagueis is canon, but his species is not canon. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, could be. Gene says, Sol and May confront Qimir and Osha. Osha becomes Qimir's acolyte. Vestra arrives and confronts Qimir, who just killed Sol. Vestra reveals that he was her former Padawan, a ship arrives, Plagueis is revealed. But then does Plagueis kill Vestra? I really hope, like, it'll be even though we know it's coming, it'll be a cool reveal if they're like, when Vestra and Qimir come face to face, Vestra's like, how the hell are you still alive? And then we kind of maybe get some explanation there. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Okay, I think with that, I'm going to have to get on out of here. MoFi says, what time is it coming out? You got about 5 hours, I believe. A little less than 5 hours till it comes out. But yes, indeed. Indeed. By the way, guys, this is the last ever prediction stream for the Acolyte show. Let's just let that sink in for a second. We'll cry about it for... It was a fun ride. This show was absolutely a blast. These prediction streams on Tuesdays were awesome, and we're going to be having our last watch party for this Acolyte show later on tonight. So tune in for that. Tune in for that. And, of course, if you can't, watch out for the breakdown video tomorrow. And, yeah, smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not yet. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. Will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Make sure I make that go make that bingo card. If you guys want to make bingo cards, somebody did it. Somebody took charge of that for the Bad Batch in the Discord. So if you want to do that again, you guys can go do that. Yeah. How about this one? Luke shows up proving that he was a clone in all the other movies. Now that's a crazy theory. Okay, smash a like on this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. Okay, and with that being said, may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate all of you more than you will ever know. Go join that Discord. Keep the conversation going. I appreciate all the new members. The super chats. It means quite a bit to me. It really, really does. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Come by the watch party later on tonight. And good night, everybody.